So what is the Easter story? Well, truthfully, the Easter story begins with the Christmas story. This miraculous story of the birth of a baby boy named Jesus. Because you see, that boy, he grew up to be a man who was a preacher and a healer. He traveled throughout Israel, healing people of their sicknesses, casting out demons, and even raising people from the dead, and claiming that he himself was the Son of God, God in human form. But you see, the religious leaders, they did not believe that, and they did not like how much influence he had over the people. So they decided to take him, arrest him, and turn him over to the Roman government for his claims that he was the king of the Jews. And for that, his punishment was to be whipped and beaten within an inch of his life, led up a hill to a place called the Skull, and to hang on a cross until he died in front of everyone. And everyone thought that was going to be the end of the story. Even his disciples went into hiding for fear that they themselves would be crucified as well. And no one expected anything else to happen. But thankfully, we have recorded from Matthew, one of his disciples, one of the men who was there, what happens next in his Gospel of Matthew, chapter 28. He says that at dawn of the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to look at the tomb. And suddenly there was a violent earthquake, for an angel of the Lord came down from heaven, and going to the tomb rolled back the stone and sat on it. His clothes were like lightning, and they were white as snow. The guards were so afraid that they shook and fell as though dead. The angel said to the women, "Do not be afraid, for I know that you come looking for Jesus, who was crucified, but he is not here. He is risen, just as he said he would. Come and see the place where he lay, but then go quickly and tell the disciples that he has risen from the dead and is going ahead of you into Galilee. There you will see him, and now I have told you." So the women hurried away from the tomb, afraid but yet filled with joy, and ran to tell the disciples. But suddenly Jesus met them. "Greetings," he said. And they came, they clasped his feet, and they worshipped him. You see, Jesus was killed. He was dead, and he was buried for 3 days in this tomb, but that wasn't the end of the story. The miracle of Easter is that he rose again from the dead, and he did it for you. You see, his resurrection proved that he was who he said he was. And that means that everything he went through to be with you. Because whenever we do selfish things or hurt other people, we separate ourselves from God. So God came down to earth as Jesus to reunite us. So the only decision you have to make is, do you believe that? Do you believe the Easter story? Do you believe that Jesus is God? And if so, do you want to confess your sins to him? Do you want to change your life? Because all you have to do is say a simple prayer, and he promises to be with you forever. You know what? If you've already done that, be sure to thank him for what he did on this day. Salvation is a free gift for us, but he paid a lot for it. He paid so much to be with you. So don't take that for granted. Thank him for that and live accordingly this Easter.